Can we talk about the impact of the forex crisis on your business?
I don't think anybody could ever think it would be this difficult or it would have gone this bad. So I think quite a lot of businesses were caught unaware of how bad the FX situation could get. I'll say we also were caught unaware. We've seen a bad situation of FX, but we've not seen it this tight in terms of availability. And it has made businesses very difficult. Capacity utilizations have dropped massively. In my capacity, not only as the MD, I'm also in my capacity as the chairman of the electrical and electronic sector of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. We're seeing that difficulty turn into job losses, downsizing, or if you want to be very nice, right sizing of businesses. And you cannot contrast inventory levels and contract them to the point whereby there's no availability. There'll be a fall short. The fall short is we will not have capacity utilization, which we're not in our own situation. But it also looks, in every bad situation, there's always an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it's the opportunities that everybody has to look for.
So what percentage of your raw materials are you able to source locally?
Now, there are some aspects of our products available locally that can be recycled or can be. Now, that's part of the things we're actually looking at seriously. What can we do locally? Because as I said, in a bad situation, you look at the opportunities. Rather than your business shutting down, you actually look at how do I survive on the long term. Now, for us, we're looking at recycling of some of the materials. That's what we can get in terms of scrap materials. Scrap copper is available in some quantities between the region, Nigeria, and outside the region, which can be recycled and used and can cater for about 70% of our import. That alone can make a savings of about $5 to $8 million on a monthly basis. And that's a lot in terms of at least some aspect of your importation reduction. And so that is one thing we're looking at. We're also looking at areas where the import element can also turn to an export element, whereby you import some element of your inputs, you're using it as a production to produce your raw material, but you also export part of that out. Because in terms of copper smelting, you don't actually need to have copper ore in your country. You can turn yourself into a processing zone where you are exporting out. I'm buying from 2-3 countries that have never seen the word copper ore in their country, but we buy copper rod from them. So they specialize in exporting out these processes. So we also can turn our country into a processing zone, whereby you process, we also export out, we get our forex in, and we continue the local production. So whereby you're balancing an element of your processes. So the FX element affects capacity because the inventory has actually reduced massively. And until they can solve the problem, I don't see inventory level or capacity level jumping up that quickly in the manufacturing sector.
So what would be your own solution to the foreign exchange crisis?
I think for me, my own solution would be a focused FX direction. Now, the focused FX direction would be what guarantees jobs. Everybody says agriculture, fantastic. I agree. Agriculture has to be a focus for us to actually grow or at least feed ourselves, so we import less. Now, industrialization being a key part, because industrialization plays a very key part to everything you want to do. Now, you can't do agriculture without industrialization. I can't produce palm kernel and not have an industrial plant that processes the palm kernel into palm oil or any other form of secondary or third level product for sale.
You're a second generation executive management of this company. I'd like you to give me a sense of the timeline of this company's relationship with the Bank of Industry.
Our actual relationship started as far back as the CBN Intervention Fund, where BOI came in as the agent for CBN with the commercial banks way back, I think, 2010, when they started intervening in the industry directly, manufacturing directly. And it went well. I think we're good beneficiaries of that fund, and that helped the business a lot.
You've talked so much about your strength, your visionary style of administration, and your output and your capacity. What would be your major threats, really?
Today, I think for my own industry, the biggest threat is the actual FX, because it can close me down if I cannot source FX to actually run the factory.
Succession planning and execution is one milestone where most companies in this country, especially in this part of the world, get it wrong. And obviously, Coleman Industries has gotten it right. What would you say is the secret?
Sometimes it's difficult for most businesses to think beyond themselves. I think for me, I started thinking early beyond me, or even the team here, because it's what you leave as a legacy that allows the next team to do even better than you. So we're striving for a situation where the business actually also leaves the next generation. And that has helped. So leadership, focus, the focus on the business, and discipline. In Nigeria, it's not that easy to be focused and disciplined simultaneously. And I think that is key to most successes, because why I say it's not easy, Nigeria, we're influenced by our system, our tradition, our way of life. We are, I'll say, into each other's business a lot, which is fantastic because we care. But invariably, it also pressurizes the individual not to be disciplined. Our focus on our business is easily influenced by also our external environment, the image that we want to keep, the image the system or the actual environment or the culture believes you should have. It's a lot of pressure. Now, once you are not disciplined to be focused that there's a separation between your business and that external force, you most likely have a tendency of deviating or diverting what should have been for the business in the business, and it doesn't help. So, which I said, focus and discipline together is very difficult because of our current environment. But if that is there, it is easy to achieve a lot in this country where you put those two together.
Many people are saying or suggesting that despite the fact that they don't have a problem with the fight against corruption, that the way the current administration is going about fighting corruption is really inimical to business growth in Nigeria. Would you agree with that line of thought?
We need to be very careful how we sell ourselves as a country. If we have this problem, let's internally deal with it. I don't think we need to overflog it. And then when you look at if everybody is seen as corrupt, who is spending? That's the question I ask. Who is spending? Now, if everybody is seen as corrupt and they all stop spending, okay, we move away the corrupt guys. But those that are not even corrupt are so afraid of spending, they're not spending because they don't want to be seen as corrupt. Then the whole economy stalls. And there's no economy that works without people spending money. Whether it's the government, whether it's the individual, we all need to spend.
agricultural sector due to limited processing and preservation capacity. This results in high food prices and food importation, with its attendant effects on the nation's foreign reserves. To enable Nigerians optimize the benefits from the country's vast agricultural products such as cassava, oil palm, rice, tomatoes, and others, the Bank of Industry has launched a 5 billion naira cottage agro-processing fund, the CAP Fund. Customers can access the fund to establish plans to process our various agro-produce into food products or intermediate raw materials for industries at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum. For more information on the CAP Fund, please visit www.boinigeria.com/capfund. Bank of Industry, developing Nigeria's agro-processing industry through the CAP Fund.
If you're a business owner and you desire to get loans from the Bank of Industry, just like Coleman Industries Limited, as well as others, visit any of their branches closest to you. Otherwise, go to their website at boi.ng. It's possible to apply for a loan online. Just download the BOI SME Loan app from the Google Play Store. Don't forget to tweet at me at KAY Alayande should you have further inquiries. That's our package for today. I'm Kaidi Alayande. Thank you for watching.